Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. Today we're here with the High Elves, going to be taking a look at a replay between myself and the Gobbo King. We've already got the battle underway, so let's quickly go over the army compositions. I've got a princess up on a Moondragon here. She's got a ranged attack and nothing else, just the Dragon Breath. We've cut all the other abilities, but that non-armor piercing ranged attack is going to be very good against beastmen, monsters, characters, and so on. We've got 4 units of Valyrian Reavers, 2 of which are currently Vanguard deployed here. Valyrian Reaver bows, I should say. We also have 2 of the melee variant, 1 here and 1 here. So yeah, we're going to immediately be trying to engage on these Centaurs with throwing axes. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. We've also got 2 units of Dragon Princes, and for an infantry force, we've got 3 units of Spearmen, a single Lothern Sea Guard with shields, and a mage with Lore of Life for some healing. In terms of my opponent's army here for the Gobbo King, this is actually a game we played in the recent Flash tournament that Turin put on, so I figured you guys would want to see. I had some super epic games in that tournament, so I'll be showing those to you guys in addition to the Shadow Online Gaming tournament replays we've been putting up recently as well. But yeah, the Illyrian Reavers are going to be matched up very well against these 2 Centaurs with throwing axes. There are 2 more Centaurs with throwing axes, I believe, over here. Nope, actually not. Looks like some Bestigor herd. We've got 2 Ungor Spearman herd, another Bestigor herd here, Cygor, Kazrak, the One-Eye, and a Brashim and Lore of Death on a chariot. We've got some Chaos Poison Warhounds and Minotaurs with Grapens, another Spearman. I think that's pretty much it. I may have missed a Beastman unit here or there, but yeah, let's go ahead and kick the battle into full gear. I believe there are 2 Ungor herds deployed in the back, one of which we're going to spot here with these Dragon Princes, and immediately going to turn around and crush them while we get the skirmish phase underway. So yeah, we'll soak up some of this cinematics. I know there's some stuff going on the other side of the battle, but I wanted to, well, these are actually a Gore herd, the dual wield variant, so that's a free 600 points for me. Very good stuff. Meanwhile, we've been able to catch and take out one of the unit of Centaurs with throwing axes. Meanwhile, these Illyrian Reavers are going to kind of get charged by these other 2. Wasn't quite quick enough on my micro to pull away in time, but we are going to pull away as soon as possible. Although normally I would take this engagement head on with the heroic support of Kazrak and the Bray Shaman here. I really don't want to take that head up. So Dragon Breath there, unfortunately, barely made contact on that Cygor and didn't do much damage. You can see the Glady, I call her the Glady just by by habit. She's actually not the Glady, but the Princess here is going to be just poking away with her bow at the Cygor here. It does a little bit of damage. She's not super accurate either, I noticed, shooting at single model entities like this, especially when they're moving around a lot like that Cygor is. You see that shot just kind of overshot there because he was moving. But anyway, we're going to be using the Illyrian Reavers to try and get up in here and just pressure Gobbo King as much as possible without taking a melee engagement. And you're pretty much going to lose if you take a head-on engagement with the Beastmen as the High Elves. You're going to lose a lot of the time just because the Beastmen are a very strong, headstrong faction, and if you try and just go in with a strong infantry force, you're usually going to get stomped out. So I like to go with the super mobile route. Although the Beastmen are one of the strongest mobility factions in the game, I feel that due to a number of factors, the High Elves can actually outclass them. Illyrian Reaver archers just have better raw combat stats overall than Centaurs with throwing axes. They have longer range. They are more expensive, obviously, but they're just a great utility unit in this matchup, can do a ton of damage. Dragon Princes, likewise, can stomp out a lot of Beastman units. Pretty much only Minotaurs with Great Weapons can hang around with them. Thankfully, Gobbo King does have one of those to deal with Dragon Princes. But at the end of the day, we're doing quite a bit of damage to the Cygor here between these 2 Illyrian Reavers and the Princess. And over here, we're chasing off these Centaurs with throwing axes as well. It is a pretty atrocious trade. It's not for free. The throwing axes will do some damage to these Illyrian Reavers, but we're now bringing up the melee Reavers here just to try and pin some units in place, see if we can't get, a unit overextending somewhere. So, like, for example, these Ungor Spearmen herd here, who have already taken a lot of missile fire, which in and of itself is not super efficient for me, just because this is a very cheap unit, but we're hopefully just going to get around and get a quick charge here. It looks like we did the same over here, just a quick charge in on the Centaurs with throwing axes, and this is a little bit risky to drop the Princess down in here, but I was looking for a quick terror route on these Centaurs with throwing axes, which we get, and we're going to use the Illyrian Reavers here to screen out the Chaos Poison Warhounds. Gobbo King, I'm not sure if he thought this was a unit of Dragon Princes, but he does drop that Purple Sun there, which is pretty much going to finish off these Illyrian Reavers, but for only a 600-point unit, that's not the best. That being said, I do charge in here with these Dragon Princes on some Ungor Herd, but unfortunately, I'm going to get kind of bogged down here in that... yeah, you can see with the Chaos Poison Warhounds and Minotaurs with Great Weapons chasing them, this is actually going to be a pretty bad situation for me. We also get another charge quickly into these Bestigor Herd here. Then I'm going to immediately pull away. Yeah, I'm having to use the Illyrian Reavers just to charge into melee here to break these Dragon Princes free, and then I should immediately try and pull back away. Unfortunately, I'm not quite going to do that here. Looks like we're going to be potentially dropping a Dragon Breath while we pull these Dragon Princes back and try and get some healing on them. But yeah, you can see I unfortunately did have to pretty much completely sacrifice those Illyrian Reavers. Meanwhile, the other Illyrian Reavers here are going to be caught up by the Ungor Spearman Herd a little bit, so a little bit of sloppy micro by myself. But coming in with another quick Dragon Prince charge is going to be doing a ton of damage to the Ungor Spearman Herd. Spirit Leech going off on the Princess from that Bray Shaman Lore of Death, going to be trying to take away some of her hit points. He's put in a lot of magic already into that Purple Sun, so we'll see if he's able to still get some good value from the caster. We're opening up shots with the Lothern Seaguard. Unfortunately, they're shooting out of the woods, so some of their shots are going to get obstructed by the trees. We're targeting them on the Minotaurs, though, since they're a high-value unit. They have low armor and no missile block chance. And, yeah, just kind of probing for weaknesses here. Unfortunately, I'm going to get my Dragon Princess potentially caught out again by this kind of death ball of Beastmen here. But, yeah, you can see we're all set up in the forest. Meanwhile, these other two units of Illyrian Reavers are going to go try and deal with the Cygor here. Because he's a very big threat. You can see we're pretty far behind on the balance of power. Honestly, at this point, it's looking to be a pretty rough battle. You can see getting caught up again by these Poison Warhounds. Very nice play by Gobbo King to use those Poison Warhounds, pinning these Dragon Princes in place. And then these Minotaurs, the Great Weapons, are just going to go to Pound Town on him. You can see the Dragon Princes trying to fight back. But, yeah, they're not going to stand a chance against the heavy-hitting Minotaurs with Great Weapons. That being said, we're using a way to support in the main line here, trying to look for some quick terror routes to these Ungor Spearman Herd and the Bestigor Herd and so on, so that we can just get them out of here. We're also using the Lothern Seaguard, again, just to focus fire. They're not doing the most damage, but over time they can help poke away, do some nice HP damage to these Minotaurs. But, yeah, mainline engagement's holding pretty well so far, mostly because the Bestigor haven't got involved yet. But even then, when the Bestigor do get involved, I mean, they have solid melee attack at 41, with the 50 melee defense of the Spearmen, at least while they have the this thing up, the Martial Prowess, they are going to be able to hold for quite some time there, which then allows the Dragon to come in and cycle charge. We're using the healing to try and heal up the Dragon as much as possible right now, as well as the one very tattered unit of Dragon Princes. It's around, I say very tattered, they actually still have 25 unit models, and the Hounds came in, tried to pin down the Dragon, but immediately got terrified and chased off by the Dragon Princes. We're also going to pin in Kazrak and the Bray Shaman Lore of Death here and immediately come down and just start cycle charging them with the Dragon. I mean, obviously, the armor-piercing, heavy damage of the Dragon is going to be able to do quite a bit. Kazrak does pop Scourge, Deadly Onslaught, some of his other buffs there to go up to 151 charge bonus. Holy cow, man, that's a serious charge bonus, but at the end of the day, it's going to be pretty rough. The Dragon Princes are going to be caught up on Minotaurs with Great Weapons again, which is unfortunate, but Lothern Seaguard holding out very well up on the hill here. Obviously, with their spears, they'll be decent against this chariot, and they more than have the combat stats to stand up to these Ungor Spearman Herd. Very nice Dragon Breath coming down, though. We were able to get the Princess back up in the air and get a really nice Dragon Breath into this pocket. Didn't do the most damage, but did some damage to those Bestigor. And again, we're going to be trying to terrify away these Ungor Spearman Herd just to keep this Lothern Seaguard secure. The forces that were sent to deal with the Cygor weren't quite able to finish him off. We're rallying some of them that had been terrified away previously, going to clean up this Ungor Spearman Herd. And now we can see kind of a consolidation of the Beastmen forces in this pocket here. And here's the critical mistake I think that Gobbo makes, where he's pretty far ahead on the balance of power at this point, but he's just overextended pretty severely with his Minotaurs into this pocket. He does have the spear support here. We're going to bring a rear charge with these Dragon Princes to terrify away the Ungor Spearman Herd because the Dragon's here as well. That's going to allow me to focus with the Lothern Seaguard, who of course have decent combat stats and anti-large with solid weapon strength, so they'll be pretty good against the Minotaurs, and the Princess herself can do a lot of burst damage when charging down in, so once these Ungor Spearman Herd route off, you can see they get terrified away. That's going to leave these Minotaurs with Great Weapons here totally exposed by themselves, and if we can manage to take down these Minotaurs with Great Weapons, that's going to pretty much be the only unit in Gobbo King's army that can effectively deal with the Dragon. So we're going to try and get the dragon back around here to deal with that situation. You can see the rest of the support is way down here cleaning up Illyrian Reavers and so on in the low ground, and here comes the dragon to finish off these units of Minotaurs on the high ground here in support of Lothar and Seaguard. You can see they take a ton of burst damage. What few Ungor herds are remaining here are going to go down, and we do take down quite a few unit models of the Minotaurs and rout them off, so very, very powerful stuff. Another Earthblood here, keeping that dragon nice and healthy and also healing these Lothar and Seaguard, who are now able to fire in once again. There are plenty of threats around though still. You can see Bestigor still inundating this position, so the Lothar and Seaguard are still having to hold their ground here. But the Minotaurs with Great Weapons have been broken with only 4 unit models and about 600 HP left. It's very doubtful they're going to come back and make any kind of impact on the battle. That has managed to claw back the balance power a little bit in my favor, although it's still very heavily against me, just because Khazrak, although he has taken some damage, the Brave Shaman's got about half HP as well, and I literally just have Lothar and Seaguard, a dragon, and a caster, so it's looking pretty rough for me at this point. Lothar and Seaguard are going to be focusing fire point blank onto these Centaurs here as the High Mage holds them in place, and then the Princess is going to come down and try and snipe these chariots. Because the chariots are relatively large targets, she's going to be able to pretty much get the full brunt of her splash attack on these chariots here. So like Khazrak just took a nasty hit there, down to 380 hit points now, and is wavering. So if we're able to snipe out the leadership here with the dragon, again, the Minotaurs with Great Weapons, really the only unit that could counter the dragon in this late game situation. So Khazrak actually got routed off there. Brave Shaman Lore of Death also just took a nasty charge, and one more auto attack from the dragon should be enough to pretty much finish him off. So at this point, we're going to forsake these Lothar and Seaguard, who have definitely done their jobs in holding out this high ground position. They're going to get collapsed on by both sides by Bestigor here, which is going to be a very rough situation for them. They're definitely going to get crumbled, but they've done their job in holding out valiantly here, allowing the Dragon Princess to come in here and get the work done that she needs to, finishing off some of these Minotaurs who had regrouped, just making sure they stay broken. And meanwhile, the Deathcaster's routing off. The Khazrak has rallied here, and the Life Mage, who is currently overchasing one Centaur, is going to be have her targeting changed over to Khazrak to try and finish him off. The dragon comes back in the air to chase away the Brave Shaman Lord of Death, and we just decide to leave these Lothar and Seaguard to their fate, unfortunately. We do have a couple of tattered units of Spearmen as well, but you can see the balance power for the first time is finally in my favor, and as we start to finish off these heroic units, things will go more and more in my favor. I'm not sure, looks like... Oh, here comes the mage. She's chasing down Khazrak here. Going to be actually finishing him off there in the woods, so that's right, Khazrak. You got beat down by a Life Mage. Very good stuff. So she's going to go off and try and support the Star Dragon as well as a lot of these other units start to shatter. Of course, with Khazrak being gone, the leadership issues are just going to get worse for the Beastmen. So we do finish off the Deathcaster here in the woods as well. So the Brave Shaman's down. And at this point, we're going to fast forward a little bit as I try and consolidate my forces and finish off what the Gobbo King has left here. Mostly it's this Cygor. He's got a couple of tattered units of Ungor Spearman Herd, a couple of tattered units of Bestigor, and so on. So we'll fast forward as we all consolidate our forces here and try and force this late game engagement. Dragon's going to come down. We've got one more Earthblood. We've got just barely enough magic for one more Earthblood, so we're going to heal that dragon. As you can see, each tick of healing that goes down is going to put the balance power more and more in my favor. It is a little bit dangerous, though. I mean, there's plenty of infantry support for the Beastmen here, and although the Cygor has poor defensive stats, he does have 44 melee attack with a ton of weapon strength, so he can return some damage to the Princess there. But we're pretty much able to break his leadership and rout him off there. You can see Gobbo King's trying to pull away, but one or two more auto attacks should finish off the leadership, and it does indeed. So now we're going to put this Life Mage to chase down the Cygor, and we're going to use the dragon to battle it out with the Bestigor Herd. Of course, since the dragon does armor-piercing damage, we're going to use this Princess to just kind of hold things here. And yeah, at this point, it's just a matter of finishing off this Cygor. You can see the Life Mage is doing her best to do that, and allowing the dragon to just monster mash the rest. That being said, I mean, there are spearmen here. Bestigor Herd have pretty solid weapon strength. They do armor-piercing damage. The Princess does only have 50 armor, so she is going to take some damage fighting in this pocket. So it's, you know, it may seem like we've completely taken it home, but in reality, it's actually still a very dangerous situation. If I were to lose my lord here or have her leadership break, then we would definitely be in big trouble. But that being said, Cygor was finished off by the Life Mage, as was Kazrak, so man, she's got 2 very important notches on her belt today. And yeah, she's going to be coming out to assist her friend here, and together they're going to be finishing off the last of the Beastmen forces. So man, what a battle. One of the closest and most epic battles I've fought in quite a while on Total War Warhammer. A full-on 13-14 minute slog with lots of different phases and reforming, and just a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed watching it. Very well played to the Gobbo King. I'll have a link down in his channel below. He was kind of trolling me while we were doing this tournament, so he had actually changed his name to Dov Place as well, just so that we're all extra confused. But yeah, very well played to Gobbo King at the end of the day. That was a super close battle. I honestly he thought he had me there once the Dragon Princess kind of crumbled away. In terms of the army breakdown, I mean, 110 kills on the Princess. She was a true MVP in this matchup. The Life Mage, likewise, helping to keep her alive. And you can see the Dragon Princess, one of them did a lot of work. 134 kills, XP Chevron. The other one got shut down pretty easily. The Lothran Seaguard definitely helped hold out in that late game situation. That was super clutch. For Gobbo King, obviously, Bestigor Herd doing very well. Minotaurs also getting a lot of kills on high-value cabs, so that was great. 100 kills on the Bray Shaman and 61 on Kazrak. All the heroic units doing very well here. But at the end of the day, you know, it's just the Dragon and the Life. Because we were able to finish off those Minotaurs, there wasn't anything left to counter them. So, well played all around. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you like this kind of content, feel free to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, and we'll see you next time.